It's Lisa Willery from the Widow's Comeback and Chris Mamoni from the Empowered Grief Journey. And we're so glad that you're here today. We're here to talk to you about a workshop that we're going to have. We're going to be working with people who are grieving to do a vision board. And I just want to say that vision boards for me have been a very powerful tool in the last 7 years since I lost my husband. And Chris has been struggling a little bit to do a vision board. And so together we are going to help you guys with a vision board as well. And some of you might feel a little bit nervous about vision board or feel stressed when we say vision board. But I really want to tell you that a vision board is not resolutions. It isn't goals. It isn't anything heavy and scary like that. What the vision board has done for me is it has allowed me to dream and see things that I want to do and I want to try where I felt really stuck in grief and wasn't like really expanding myself or trying new things. And doing the vision board allowed me to visually, by cutting out pictures and kind of cool things like that, and put it on my board. It just allowed me to think about things that I could do. And it gave me permission. So, Chris, I know you've been struggling a little bit with your vision board. Do you want to talk about that a little?
Yeah, definitely. So I'll share with you something personally. So I made a vision board the year we had Caden, and sadly, I did not get any of those visions crossed off them that year. I still have the little tiny chalkboard with first baby written on it as a memento. But I will say that when you go through grief, it's very easy to stay in that place, and it's hard to see what this future is going to look like because we're going through a big identity shift of who we are and what we think our future is going to be, or who we might want to be, or what we might want to do. And so, going through a vision board process can be very, very helpful because it can allow us to really take those small steps. And I like to say vision boards are not for putting up big mansions and fancy cars and stuff like we see all the time online. This can really be something simple, such as meeting one new person for coffee every other month, or reaching out to a friend a couple times a week, something like that, something very small, when we're going through grief, because we're already dealing with a lot. And so the idea behind, a vision board for me is setting small achievable goals throughout the year, because those small goals do turn into big ones. And that's where we can build our momentum while being kind to ourselves as we're going through healing.
Absolutely. And you know the story about hiking with me. I had hiking on my vision board and it was there for, I don't know, 6 months on my board, and I wanted to try hiking so bad, and then I finally did, because when I found out about the club, um, I signed up for the club, and it was on my board, and every time I visited my toilet closet, I could see my vision board, and I could see hiking, and it just sort of ruminated inside of me, and then finally one day, I was brave enough to try it. So that's what I really like about the vision board is I was able to have something there that I wanted to do. But you guys, it took me 6 months before I took my first hike, and that's fine
That's
because it
okay.
wasn't a goal that I had to do by a certain day. It wasn't a resolution that failed at. It was just something that was there that I was thinking about, and then I finally got the nerve. So
And
I'm going to show you my vision board. I'm not in a great place, but here's my vision board from last year. And I want to say that if your vision board just looks like this right now, which is blank, that is fine. Even if by the end of our workshop, you only want to put one thing on it. And like Chris said, maybe it's just a cup of coffee and you want to try to have a goal of at some point in your year going out for coffee with people, then that's going to be on your board and you're just going to be able to look at it and think about it. And then one day you're going to be asked, or you're going to find the nerve for it, or, you've given yourself permission and you're going to be able to do it. So, that's what I want to say about vision boards. Do you want to say anything else, Chris, before we say goodbye?
Well, what I want to share with you really quickly, and I wanted to ask you this, Lisa, but what does it mean not to rush the future? So I think that's something that comes up with vision boards is people get caught up sometimes in this idea of if I put it on there, it has to happen. I've got to do it. And sometimes we find ourselves really feeling that pressure to do something.
Yes.
What's your thoughts on that?
About rushing myself?
About rushing yourself,
Yes.
rushing your future?
So I think for people who are grieving, it's a new year. So you hear all this claptrap, new year, new you. What are your goals? What are your resolutions? And then people want to say to you, you, what are you going to do? And it just really is stressful. And what you really want to do is grieve. And that's great. You should grieve. You should feel all your feels and you should take as much time grieving as you need. And Chris and I, before we went live, we're talking about how many years it's been since we lost our loved ones, and we're still grieving, and you will still grieve. But you can't rush your future by having goals that you feel pressured about. And so that's what a vision board does is it takes the pressure away. It takes the timeline away. It allows you space to grieve still. I have things on my vision board that I've never done, but they keep appearing, and so I know that I'll do them someday, but I don't need to rush it. What I need to be doing is I need to be resting, I need to be being graceful to myself, I need to be giving myself space to heal and space to try something new when I'm ready.
I think that's a beautiful response to that, Lisa, because you brought up a point about vision boards too. You may not do this right away. It might be 6 months into the year, it might be 9 months into the year. And for those of you who think I'm crazy or think you might be crazy, I'll share this. I've actually rolled things from one year's vision board onto the next one.
Me too.
And I give yourself permission for that because we're not perfect and we can never tell the future, but it's always nice if it's coming up, like Lisa said multiple times. Maybe it is something that's going to happen. It might not happen this year. It might not even happen in 6 months, but maybe that down the future road, it'll appear when the time is right. And to give yourself permission to accept that timeline for you is an even more empowering and freeing way for you to work through having a vision board and working through those goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, our first part of our workshop will be on Sunday, January 4th, and I think Chris put a link in. If you're interested, come and sign up, and we can't wait to hold space for you guys in your grief and encourage you to try something new, have a little bit of joy and fun and things to look forward to, and a little bit more recovery.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, Lisa. Yeah, you guys come join us on January 4th. The part of the vision board experience that is more fun is when we do it with more people. This is something I really enjoy because, especially when we're going through grief, Lisa lost her husband suddenly. I lost my child suddenly. When we have different grief experiences and different losses in our life, there's so much we can learn when we're in a group with multiple people, like 5 or 10 people, for example. It can be that small, but when we hear everybody's experiences, hear what they've gone through, how they're grieving, how they're healing, sometimes we see a little bit of ourselves in that different perspective. And this is a place, like I said about vision boards, Lisa showed it, it's a blank canvas. You can put anything on there you want. I personally like going to places like Hobby Lobbies or Michael's or places like thrift stores where you can get little trinkets or items that really represent you, represent your journey, represent maybe something you want to do in the future. Even using magazines, by the way, I'm a big sailing guy and I love finding pictures of boats because one day I hope to buy a 50-foot boat. It's not going to happen this year or next year, but it's going to happen at some point. And to give yourself permission to dream and, give yourself permission, on that scale or even on the small side of things, like I said about, going out to coffee once a month with a friend, or like Lisa said about hiking, giving yourself that permission. So come join us on January 4th, blank canvas or canvas with everything on it. Doesn't matter. Come join us because it's going to be a lot of fun. It's also going to be a safe place for you guys to just be. I share often on my podcast, and I'll share with you guys for this event. I just want you to come as you are. You don't need to be anything else. If you're fresh in grief, like Lisa and I have been very many times in our life, or if you're years out like we are now and still grieving, come as you are. Come exactly as you need to be, and we just want to welcome you with open arms to help you create a vision for 2026.
Yes. I usually end saying love you, widow friends, but I'm going to say love you, grieving friends.
I
See you
love
on
that.
Sunday.
I
Bye.
love that. Well, guys, if you go in the comments, if you're on my Facebook page watching this live, go in the comments. I put a link to the page to sign up for the class. It is going to be 2 different meetings, by the way. It'll be January 4th as our get together discussion, talk a little bit more about how to put the visions together. Lisa and I are looking forward to collaborating with you guys and learning about your grief journeys and your experiences and what you hope to accomplish this year. And just have that safe space for us to collaborate and discuss ideas. January 18th is going to be a really fun side of this vision board class because we're hoping that everybody that joins us is going to be willing to share their vision boards with us, share the story behind it, share what you're hoping to achieve. Because I'm going to share with you guys another powerful thing that we all have beautiful gifts within ourselves. And in this last meeting on January 18th, we're going to be in a place to share those gifts with other people. And you're going to see people that are grieving where you're at. They're going to be able to meet you where you are. There might be somebody that's more healed or less healed, things like that. But we're all going to be able to share our powerful gifts together as a
We're
collective.
not going to make you share.
Not going to make you share. You
Just
can if you
watch
want.
if you want.
I encourage you to. I'm Mr. Empowered. I've been through a lot in my life, but you don't have to. I'm going to put that out there. I don't like the phrase have to. That's just my coaching side coming out. But I want to invite you guys to. This is a safe place, as I like to say. You guys can see my room behind me. This is a safe place for you to just be exactly who you need to be. Share what you feel comfortable sharing. If you don't want to, that's completely fine. I like to open the doors for everybody. So. Well, anyway, well, I'll tell you what, guys, the link's in the comments below. Feel free to check out the website to sign up for the class. I'd love to see you guys on the 4th and come join Lisa and I. It's going to be a really fun time. Lisa, do you have any additions you want to add before we take off?
Nope. Just looking forward to it.
All right. Sounds good. Well, everybody, we'll see you guys there on January 4th. Have a happy new year, and we'll see you soon.